Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen! Hello, yodelers. We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Peter, with my co-host,
Chief
and
Jackie.
And today we're going to Disneyland.
Woo-hoo!
We're going to Disneyland, and we're going to go to all of the attractions.
Yes.
This is a good day.
This is
Right,
a great
we're going to
day.
hit all the
perfect
rides.
day.
We're going to hit all the rides, and we're going to talk about, from our own perspectives, what the most iconic moment of the attraction. So, like, what I was
It could be like a scene.
Yes.
It could be an item.
right?
Uh-huh.
It could be a location.
feeling inside.
Yep.
Like it could be the temperature. It could be a smell.
Right.
Or something like that.
So, like, literally, and, like, it's going to sound weird because, and some of mine involve just being in a queue, you know, not necessarily the attraction itself. So, we're going to basically go clockwise around, starting on Main Street, and move our way around the park. The way it's designed now, it actually can kind of all connect around with Star Wars Land added there. So,
It does, doesn't it? Now?
yep. So let's start things off on Main Street, USA. Let's take a ride on the Disneyland Railroad.
Oh.
Disneyland Railroad. So what do you think, in your mind, what is the iconic moment of the Disneyland Railroad? And this includes the whole loop. I'm not going to be like, what's the iconic moment in between Main Street and New Orleans Square? It's the Mardi Gras head, you know? I don't know.
It's the bell for me.
The
All
bell.
aboard! Ding, ding.
Oh,
Like just like hearing
yeah.
that bell.
The announcement.
Like I hear that bell and it's like we're going because then you feel the
Oh, yeah.
the push at that point. So yeah, that's what I think of.
I thought of like when you're at the Main Street station and pulling in and you're just seeing all the people coming in to the park or leaving, you're waving and just seeing just the people watching.
So viewing,
moment. Yeah.
the viewing of it. Okay.
To me, it's the announcement. Your attention, please.
Yeah, the announcements. Of
Yeah.
the song.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Disneyland. Oh, man. Love
You
it.
sound like JFK right there.
But, yeah, maybe I'll bring that out for when we talk about the American Adventure. All right, so we just did Disneyland Railroad.
City Hall, what do you think
City
of?
Hall.
Karen. I didn't like this experience.
Look, I'm going to skip is there anything iconic about driving down Main Street on one of the vehicles?
With Main Street, it's seeing the castle, but I think of the flowers. That's the one place
agree.
I think of is by the flagpole. I think of the flowers. That's the only place in the park where I really take in the landscape beauty.
I was just thinking about like the tree, like especially if you catch it when they're like blossoming, or the landscape of it just really is super memorable.
That's great. Yeah, I agree. The horticulture that they do, like, it really sets you into that small town vibe of you're in a community that takes
Cares
care,
about beauty.
that cares about that, honestly, because we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where
I know I walked by a house like, wow, they planted flowers out there.
right, where you got people like me who are like, just take all the plants out and just put rocks. Nothing. I don't want anything.
That's very green of you, actually. Conserving on water.
That's it. I'm my green thumb.
I'm doing my part.
Doing my part.
No green.
All right, on that note, let's go see Mr. Lincoln. So, like, when you go see the Lincoln show, what to you is the iconic moment?
There's so many.
There are. This is where it's
Sitting
difficult.
down. No.
I think for me, it's when Lincoln stands up and he gives his Gettysburg address. That is I think the pinnacle of the Lincoln experience. If you want that, patriotic moment. But there's so many moments of like walking through the area and this, and I love the seats and the coolness.
Intro.
It's just a reverence there. I love that. But
It's one of the only places in the park where people whisper.
yeah.
Yeah.
People whisper there, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I think just if you love that patriotism and you get Lincoln standing up and speaking, yeah, that's for me.
There's one scene for me that just is always in my head. It's
So the dead body.
Two brothers.
Let's show his body. Just
it's like it's with during the video part, and they show a picture of a painting of Lincoln looking out the window. It's like a blue.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It.
And he's like that whole scene and what he's talking about of like.
It's about the nation being torn and.
It's like I've been looking for this quote too, but it's just like.
Because he's pondering out the
he's
window.
Pondering.
And it's like
yes.
kind of impressionist.
It's a great, and then it pans out and you see the two sides fighting.
Yes, so
Yeah,
I love that's
a great.
My most favorite and memorable scene.
For me, it's the Battle Hymn of the Republic at the end of the speech.
Yeah.
And my eyes have seen the glory. And like,
it gets you going.
It gets me going. Like, I'm like, yeah. Like, the way he finishes it very strong.
It's a good punch.
It's a great 1-2 punch with great speech. And then you can't go wrong with Battle Hymn of the Republic. One of my favorite songs ever. It's such a great song. So.
Yeah.
That's great. I liked how we all had different viewpoints on that. That was great. All right, so there's not much else on Main Street. I mean, is there anything else iconic you want to talk about on Main Street?
No.
The hub?
No.
Okay, let's move on to the Tiki room.
That's the fountain at Disneyland.
The fountain.
The fountain, because at Disney World they don't have the fountain.
It,
so
yeah.
for me, when I see it, I'm like, whoa, look at that fountain go.
See, though, how it goes all the way up.
Yeah, because Disney World does not have that.
Yeah, this one's a little tougher for me, but
I thought it was hard for me, too.
I think it's just like when they are singing all together the Tiki Room song.
For me, it's the initial start of the show when they wake up Jose. Like that to me, it's the Tiki Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it for me after working there.
Sure.
That doesn't mean
you have a different perspective.
my perspective is like, oh, I'm working.
Are you
doing the spiel?
Your perspective is something you're not used to seeing.
Exactly. I'm like, whoa, there's the
Right.
water. Yeah, that's for me for sure.
All right. Now we're on to, I think, a hard one. Jungle Cruise. We're on the boat. Skipper's telling their jokes. What's the iconic moment in your mind of the Jungle Cruise? Because there's a lot.
Mine's the rhino and the pole
Rhino and the pole.
with all the people.
I would say, which I don't even think they have the scene anymore. I think they took it out.
Which one?
It's Trader Sam.
Where the village people come out of the bushes
Yeah, that's
to
all
attack
gone.
you.
They got rid of that?
Yeah.
Oh.
They got
They
rid
put
of
piranhas
that.
in there again. Here go the piranhas.
More piranhas.
And I think the reason why I like that is because I had a skipper that had a really good joke where he's like timed out.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
that
there
was
for
so
that.
good.
I was there for that, where he waited for them to reset.
Yes.
He's like, guys, go back, and they all turn. And then he's like, all right, now go down. Like,
And
we
he's
were
like,
there for
okay,
that.
let's do it again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So a skipper made that moment memorable. Yeah.
For me, like, it was down between two scenes. It was the hippo scene.
I've got a dirty hippo joke, so I can never look at that scene the same. So.
Okay. And then it's the African lion scene with all the animals.
Yeah.
Like,
There's always good jokes there.
right, there's several great
It's interesting.
jokes
The backside water was not one.
No, I don't.
It's
I never cared
like,
for
yeah, like it's the iconic joke, but like it's not what I think about when I ride the ride. Like if I'm picturing the ride, I'm not thinking of the waterfall.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do it for me.
Like there's so many great real gags from Mark Davis that like honestly you could pick 5 or 6 different scenes and label them as the iconic moment for me, and I would be, yep, that works. You know, the jaguar, the hippo, the gorillas at the camp, you name it, like Trader Sam at the end, or now the new end there that they have.
Trader Sam's not there anymore.
He's not hanging out there anymore, but
he got fired.
He got let go. He's working at the bar at the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah,
that's good. But he's working.
All right. Well, that was a good one. All right, now we've moved on to Indiana Jones.
Oh, this is tough.
Yes.
Me, it's like when you turn the corner and you have the 3 choices, and you get to choose because you want to know, like, which one am I going into? You really don't really care about the experience, but for me, like, that's the beginning of the ride.
Was it the choices?
Like when you turn the corner
Yes.
and you have like 3 doors, and like which one is it? Like that's kind of that's iconic for me, because the ride experience, I mean, it doesn't matter, but that's the unique experience. Is like, what spiel am I going to get? You know. And I remember like the fire. I really like the fire on the bridge, but they've cut that out, so it's really like killed.
It's lackluster. The music builds up this, but there's nothing happening.
It's like, yeah.
I was gonna say I would say that for me is it because of the music, the whoa.
So the reveal to the big room.
Yes,
the big room.
reveal, and yeah, you're totally right. The fire, they did that down and got rid of it, and you're just like wah wah wah. But overall, the music makes it still memorable to me.
Music, okay.
That's fine. Mine's kind of like in between your guys'. Mine is The Climb, where you're looking into the eyes of Mara. That's like when I picture the attraction, like that's the part I think about, you know, because that's
kind of like where I'm at too, where it's like you go through the door and you go up and then you start the ride once you turn that
that's
corner.
when the attraction turns and you're like, oh, I'm on the adventure.
Oh yeah, now we're on the run. The classic Indiana Jones adventure.
Right. So, okay, here's one that I'm not sure if you guys have an opinion on. Tarzan's Treehouse.
It's the rope bridge.
The
bridge as you go across, because in your mind you're like, oh, I totally would have loved something like this as a kid, to have a treehouse with a walking bridge. And I remember seeing like fireworks out there, like being when they didn't shut it down. I think one time we watched the fireworks from the bridge. So
I haven't done that in so many years. So
better do it soon, because you are getting older, Jackie, and things will get harder for you.
It's already hard with my foot.
Oh,
so.
We'll make sure to carry your ECV up, all right?
For me, it's the Jaguar.
Okay.
So it's right after you cross the bridge. It's that Jaguar where it's like...
The piano for Swiss Family Treehouse.
Oh,
yeah. They don't play it there at Disneyland. They play it in the record.
Yes,
downstairs.
They play the record in the play.
But what at Disney World, the Swiss Family Tree, it's the organ.
Oh, totally. The music's so iconic.
That sells it for me.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part working at the treehouse, was doing the walkthrough and listening to it, because it just invokes so many memories. But the organ is primo if I went to the treehouse for Disneyland.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go. Another big one. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I would say it is the market area.
With the auctioneer.
The auction
See,
and like
I would See, I would have said that before the change.
Yeah, when they were still selling.
When it was still selling people, yes.
Selling
we want the
brides.
redhead.
Yeah.
We want the redhead. Honestly, the most iconic part of the whole
I have
attraction.
ornaments of the auctioneer and the redhead, which I don't think, they changed it,
she's
one of them.
She's the auctioneer.
Well, no, she's not. She's just there saying, "Hey, they want the rum."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
it changed things. I remember when they changed it, when the men were chasing the women, and then the women were chasing the men, and then they just...
And if you want to see the original pirates, you got to go to Japan. They still haven't changed theirs.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that. Let's see. I'm trying to think. The thing that comes to my mind is the talking skull before you do the drop.
Ooh,
because you're like, you have this slow ease into it. You're into the swamplands, like that Louisiana swamp, and then you get this mystical pirate talking to you and like dead man tell no tale, and then you get into it. So maybe the iconic thing trend we may be seeing with me is like when you start the ride.
Sure.
Okay.
For me, it's the jail scene.
Really?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come here, boy. Like,
My least favorite is like the burned out.
Yes.
Like when you're going up the thing, you're like, I keep thinking like, there's the earthquake. This thing's gonna fall down and impale me, and like, I never liked that room.
Yeah. They could spruce up that room a little bit more.
I know, because you're just stuck in there, and that's the room you're in the longest, because
Yeah.
it's always backed up,
Yep.
and then it's like, yeah.
But yeah, the getting the keys from the dog. That's to me, like when I picture that attraction, that's what I think of now.
Okay.
All right, and we've moved on to the Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
This one's
yeah.
another hard one because there's so many iconic moments of the
I
attraction.
mean, oh man, it's
I
tough.
gotta
It's tough for me because I
say-
work
Yeah.
there, and it's hard to not invoke preference and rooms, and it depends on what part you like.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're like the fun side or you like the scary side.
I definitely think it's like the seance. Is that
The Madame Leota room?
Madame Leo? Yeah, room. Yep, that
I think
room.
it start getting a little wonky. Yeah,
You're like,
I think it's a
"Ooh."
stretch room.
That's what I was gonna say. The stretch
Oh.
room is
Yeah,
the
that's a
iconic.
good one.
It sets the tone for everything.
Yep.
But the I think the most fun room for me is the ballroom.
Yep, that would have been my second. Like, if
And
on
then-
ride,
and,
that
yeah.
would have been it. Was
And
the
then
ballroom.
like when you get into the graveyard, you got the Grim Ghost like heads, but that ride has so many iconic things.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
But I think the stretch room is probably the biggest one for me. That's the one where they really make you feel uncomfortable, like where you're pushed together.
And everyone knows this. Everyone knows the whole spiel. You know,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are no windows and no doors. You know,
That's the thing that just it sets the tone. I remember one time I got so scared, I grabbed what I thought was Mom's hand. It was not Mom's hand. It was another woman's hand. She was like, what freaks me out is that she was fine with continuing to hold my hand, knowing that I'm not her child.
It's that motherly instinct.
It was a motherly instinct for that person, and I was like, she's like, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to hold your hand. You were scared. Thanks, but you're creeping me out as an adult.
All right, now we've got another iconic attraction that will be changing sometime, who knows when, which is Splash Mountain. What is the iconic moment of the attraction?
The drop.
Drop.
The drop?
It's the drop.
It's the drop.
It's the thing as a kid that you're the most scared of.
Mm-hmm.
That sets the whole tone. Like, yes, kid, why do you want to ride that ride? Oh, it looks scary. Because they see the drop.
Yep.
Mine's the build up to the drop.
I thought
The
I
climb.
thought about that too. And you got the buzzards there, and like there's the freak out.
There's always the nervousness of like, I don't want to get stuck right
Yeah,
at
what
the
happens
top.
if you're teetering?
Every
Yeah.
time I get stuck on that ride, I'm always on that hill. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. But if I had to pick a scene, it's the Zippity Doo Dah scene.
It's the most fun.
It's
Yeah.
like if I'm picturing the attraction, that scene is what I see.
No, I see the bear rat like tied up.
The
Bear butt,
the
bear butt.
bear butt. Oh, it's so funny.
That's a fun one.
So, okay, that was fun. Winnie the Pooh.
I just think of the vehicles when I
The
think
honey
of it.
pot. The honey.
The honeycomb,
yeah,
like
the
honey,
hive.
the hive, yes, the beehive. I think of that when I think of the ride.
I think of the honey scene, the dream sequence scene,
The
Heffalumps and
the
Woozles.
Heffalump scene.
Heffalumps and
I've got the part where Pooh's eating all the honey.
Oh,
sticky.
the happiness of
Okay.
Pooh.
That's like when I think of that ride, that's the scene.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
I'm going on a bathroom break. You guys can talk about Star Wars Land.
Well, let's talk about Tom Sawyer's Island
okay.
or Pirate's
Oh.
Lair. Is there something iconic in Pirate's Lair?
I just think of the stupid gold pile dump. You know, I just like. No, it's the barrel bridge for me.
Oh yeah, totally the barrel bridge.
And then jumping on that. I remember when the rocks like spun around and like teetered, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, is this really like?" As a kid, you're like, "Did I just move this? Oh, we're in trouble."
Oh, I love the main cave. You know, there's so many fun interactive things in there. It's adventurous. Like, I just love the exploration of.
I don't think I've been in that in like 20 years.
Yeah, it's cool.
You get to a certain height and you're just like, nah.
The main one,
stuff,
the main one
yeah.
where you can walk through normal.
Not the little tiny.
The
kid
ones where you're like
ones.
hunched over and you're
Poor
like.
Dad would always go in there with us and just. He's such a kid at heart.
Yeah.
And then he hits his head and he's like, no more.
Yeah.
I also think of like, this could be for like Frontierland, but I think of like the fort with the guns
Yeah.
as a kid, but that's a nostalgia thing.
Right.
It's not iconic to it anymore. But
Right.
the barrel bridges take it for me.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do Rise of the Resistance. That's where we're at now.
Okay.
What's for you, Jackie? What is the iconic moment of that attraction? Or do you need a minute?
No. So it's hard.
Spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So it's hard. I would say it's like the build up to it. So it's the.
Are you on the ride? Or are you like in the queue? Like.
So it's like the stormtrooper scene.
So the hangar.
The hangar.
The
You
hangar
get captured, and then they open the door and you see the
lineup of stormtroopers.
The lineup of stormtroopers, and you see the big space
Yes,
that's. I totally sets the tone. I think the line queue is a part of the attraction.
Oh, it totally is. Absolutely. I would say that was going to be my first one. My second pick was the escape out of your jail cell.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like that was just like a really cool moment where you're just like, well, we're stuck, and all of a sudden the wall leaves, and you're like, whoa!
How fun!
Yes, it's like you have no idea it's happening until it happens, and it's like, whoa!
Yeah, I think like the ride itself, like once you get onto
there's
the ride
several
vehicle,
moments.
it's nice and it's fun and like you really feel like you're living it. But I totally think it's the build up.
The build up, I think, is the best part of the attraction.
Yes.
Like, and the attraction's still good.
Oh, the attraction's great, but it's definitely the build up.
Like that pre-shuttle, the hangar, the jail cell, like that whole great.
Waiting in line and interacting with the
First Order.
First Order, so fun.
The First Order cast members.
Yeah. They
Perfect.
do a great job.
So, all right. How about Millennium Falcon?
This one's hard.
This one's harder, but
What about being in the cockpit?
That's gonna be my thing.
Like if I see any like you say the ride, I'm like it's gotta be the cockpit because you have so many great scenes and like you finally get to be in it.
To be able to push the buttons in the Millennium Falcon, pull the stick down to go into hyperspace.
I was gonna say pulling the stick going into hyperspace. That's pretty cool.
Like it is really cool. Just like you're like. It's cool.
It's immersive.
It's cool to be in that like waiting room inside the Falcon, where it's a sad thing that like you only get like 2 seconds in there before they call you up.
There,
Like you want to hang out there more. You want to get your picture in front of the hollow chess set,
of course.
You know, things like that, or pose to get the Han and Leia kiss scene in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my goodness.
They have that there. Oh yeah, like. That's great, but it's without a doubt sitting in the cockpit, and you're like, I'm in the cockpit.
I think sitting in the pilot seat.
Well, of course, yeah.
Is
Pilot
the
is
best.
always...
No one wants to be the engineer. Like I always had to sell that at Mission Space. You're like, what am I? I'm like, oh, you're the engineer. Like I had to like spruce it up and make it sexy, and like it's like the worst job is the co-pilot. They just sit there and push one button. Everyone pushes one button.
I know, right? It's just one of those things. Like it depends on because I know some people that like don't want the because when you're the pilot, the pressure's on for you to make the experience worth it for everyone else.
It's like the driver in Indiana Jones, right? You got to play it up.
Even more so.
I know.
Because like if you're a person that just wants to sit there and enjoy the ride, you like the gunner. You just sit there. Okay, I'm riding the ride.
No, you just hold it down.
Then you got the people that are into the gaming, like they're really good at flying and things like that. You get those people who are really good at it. And then you got the people in the back who are just like, I just want to touch everything. And that's what they do. They just sit there
that guy
and touch everything.
Stop licking the controller.
But it's the Falcon. So, all right. So now we're leaving Batu.
We're heading to Frontierland.
We're going to Frontierland. We got Big Thunder Mountain.
It's a spiel. This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
It's the climb.
The third climb?
It's seeing the goat.
Okay, so at the top of the second climb, the goats eating the dynamite.
A lot of people like the mining, like the explosive mine. That's the third
hill,
one. But that's always so disappointing. That's what kills it. Like, the ride's over.
It is.
Let's break our way down. That's the one where you scream the loudest to scare the kids. Like, I lost an arm!
Yes, totally.
Because we're jokes like that.
Yep.
You squirt ketchup out of the arm.
Now that would be an iconic moment.
Oh my gosh, that's how you get kicked out.
But yeah, I would totally say it's the spiel.
If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
It's like, he's like, this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness, which is better than the one at Disney World.
It is.
Because the Disney World one, it's the same guy, but it just goes in the wilderness.
Yeah, in the wilderness. Yeah.
But Disneyland, he really in the wilderness.
You're like, well, let's go prospecting.
Right.
That's what motivates you.
He builds up the experience as you go into the dark tunnel of the line. So,
I agree.
Okay. Let's go a trip around the rivers of America.
Oh, okay.
We can do both the Columbia and the Mark Twain.
I think the Mark Twain, it's just being on the deck, the white. Like, I think of the white boat.
I think sitting, if you can get a chair.
You got a seat?
Yeah, you get a seat.
You have to be like there right away. You have to be like the first one on the boat to get those seats.
Yep, you get a seat and sit down and just, that's probably...
A lot of people will go and grab something to eat, bring it with them, sit down, and just have a nice leisurely ride around with some nice food.
Mine's riverboat gambling with Walt.
Riverboat gambling. Oh, yeah. And I love hearing the whistle of the Mark Twain with the bell. Kind of like with you with the train. Yep.
I think that brings up memories when I worked at Disney World because it was right next to us at the Haunted Mansion. And when the train would do its whistle, like where it's queued at, the boat would do like a communicating whistle.
I feel like they should do like a dessert party on the boat.
I'm sure they have.
I mean, when they were doing Princess and the Frog, they had a whole show on there.
They did.
Disney World.
Yeah, I remember when they did that. So, yeah. Okay.
I don't think much of the Columbia. I think it's just like Fantasmic.
Yeah.
And
Peter Pan,
yeah. Well, we'll do Fantasmic while we're there, right? Let's show.
Sure, let's do Fantasmic.
What do you think of, Jackie?
What's the iconic moment of Fantasmic?
Oh, when like the dragon comes out.
Yeah, dragon.
Maleficent, yeah.
I was gonna say the finale after the dragon, where the big finale before, like after the boat, after Mark Twain goes around with all the characters and Mickey's doing the finale. Like, I love that. It gives me.
We like a good like dragon, like like the fire.
Well, that's definitely the big wow moment where like, where did this dragon come from?
But if you look at like the pins and stuff they do for Fantasmic,
It's
the dragon's on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you see people making fun of Mickey's dance. And like the 3 arm wave up, the 3 points, hip, side, up.
So, and yeah, all love the music for that show. They nailed it when they wrote the music for it, the theme
Oh, yeah.
and everything. It's great. Okay,
Shooting
range. Yeah. What do we want to say about the shooting range?
I have no opinion on the shooting range.
I like the ghost
The
horse
ghost?
floating across.
Yeah, that's good. Or shooting the train
Yeah.
in the background.
Or is it the wagon? The wagon train. I think at Disney World's a wagon train.
I think at Disney World it's a wagon, yeah.
Because you'd shoot them, you're like,
That's always like the skill shot, if you can hit that moving target.
My favorite thing about being at that is listening to people go like, my gun's broken, and then going in after them and going and hitting everything. It's like, looks good to me. You suck.
You don't know how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
All right, so now I think we've kind of there's not much else in Frontierland, so let's head on up to Fantasyland. Let's start with Snow White.
The brass apple.
Oh.
That was a great moment while I was there.
Yeah.
It's no longer there. I understand you haven't seen the new
I
one,
haven't
but
seen it,
that's
no.
fine. Yeah, it's
Well, then it'd
fine.
be like the chamber with all the coins in there, where people throw the coins in the little dungeon thing.
Snow White.
You mean Snow White's
Yeah,
closet now?
yeah. Is that what's still?
It's Snow White's room.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, just
It's not
killing
a
it.
dungeon.
Then I
anymore.
guess the most common
It
thing.
it still looks like a dungeon.
Oh, it does.
It's
And
like
people still throw coins in there.
So I guess the next thing would be like when you're looking at the queen and then she turns around and then
Oh,
she's still
okay,
evil.
okay.
You still,
Okay, good. Something's still there.
I thought you were going to talk about when the witch dies. I was like, no, that's not there either.
They moved it. It's just in a different location.
I was going to say when Snow White's dancing with the seven dwarves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. I think Dancing Snow White, it's a really cool new animatronic figure that they use.
Oh, yeah.
I do like seeing where they moved Snow White, because Snow White used to be walking up the stairs, so they moved that now to the end of the ride where she's standing. So where originally you saw the dwarfs trying to get to the queen, or the hag or whatever, and she dies there. Well, now that's where they put Prince at the top and Snow White, her figurines there. Instead of a candle, she's holding a birds on her finger now.
Okay.
So, a little repurpose that I like. But I mean, I do like the new kiss scene, like when Prince kisses Snow White to wake her up. Like the way they designed that
Yeah.
is amazing.
No.
It's a great reveal.
I like the updates they did on Snow White. I thought
agree.
it did a great job.
I agree. I
It
think
ma- it's making Snow White a more popular dark ride.
I agree. Yeah, the dark
Waiting
wood,
for Pinocchio.
the dark woods is gone, and the holographic apple's gone. So
Oh, let me touch that apple.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they took out most of the scary parts,
Yeah.
except for the queen's little
Transformation.
dungeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the additions they did there were great. All right, Pinocchio
I think with the blue fairy in the beginning.
at the end.
Is it at the beginning where she turns him into a boy?
At the end.
Is it at the end?
Yeah.
I thought it would turn him into a puppet. Or a puppet to it turns like
Well,
makes the puppet
it starts off with the Stromboli show. That's how the ride
It
starts.
starts. Okay, then I am thinking of the end. I think that's most iconic, seeing the blue fairy.
Yeah, I agree. I like the blue fairy where he turns into.
I like the Monstro. When
Monstro
comes
is second.
out.
It probably came into my mind first, but then I'm all like, the storybook story, Monstro is the iconic thing for me there.
Right. No, I would totally agree on that one. I mean, well, we're there now. Storybook Canal. Do you have something different besides Monstro the whale?
What are you going in?
No, it's Monstro. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I figured that one was going to be an easy one for all of us.
Gonna do the Casey.
Yeah, Casey Jr. Is there anything iconic in that attraction there?
I think it's the sound of the locomotive for me
Oh,
as it's going
yeah.
up the hill. Like,
Yeah.
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 Racing to the carts.
Oh, trying to rush to get into the circus animal cage you want.
Yeah.
The,
I was raised to the back.
To be the caboose.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, that is definitely a true moment for that.
We're going to Dumbo.
Is there an iconic moment? What's the iconic moment for Dumbo for you guys?
I think it's just like getting the feather
They don't
before
do
you get
that.
the ride. Of course not. It's COVID. Killed anything in your hand. I mean, getting in the vehicle, like, and strapping in, that excitement.
The very end, when all the Dumbos are up
Yeah.
top.
I think just like controlling the Dumbo going up and down.
It's nice to get that nice big view of Fantasyland. Yeah, so the experience is just the vehicle itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you want to mention for the carousel?
Music.
It's the iconic
The
feature.
ringing of the bell when it starts and then going.
Mary Poppins' horse.
Yep, I figured that's the direction you would go. That would be your iconic feature there. Peter Pan.
Flying over the
London.
Flying over London's the most iconic scene.
Yes,
absolutely.
I mean, being in the ship itself
is cool.
It's like the most. I think it's the most iconic thing as a kid when you see it. Like your dad has a picture of Bentley like leaning over on the ride and looking. That's probably like one of the best pictures that I like that I've seen with Bentley and like the magic and of being a kid.
Right.
I think that encompasses. It's probably one of the more favorite pictures of Disneyland I've seen. It's just like a little kid looking at a pirate ship going, we're going to ride. This is so cool. And then you get that first scene in London.
Yeah.
I mean, it really sets the tone of like getting in on the ride.
I agree wholeheartedly. I do want to throw in an honorable mention for me. And this is something that not a lot of people know about. And that's the Tinkerbell and the Queue.
Oh, yeah.
So... for those who don't know, there's a hidden Tinkerbell in the queue that is you can only see it if you're on the Disney Play app. So you play the little game on the Disney Play app while you're in the queue, and then when you hit a certain point, when you hit a certain button on your phone, Tinkerbell will appear right in front of you in the queue.
And it's great because you create magic for people around you that don't.
And so my last trip that I went, I literally just sat there and was like spamming it. And like everyone was like, oh my gosh, look, there's Tinkerbell. And they would look too late and it would be gone. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, it was right there. And it got to a point where like I kept doing it over and over again. They're like, how do you, like you could hear people. I was so far away, but like my party was so large because I was in a large 20-some group of people. Like the message was getting across of like, oh no, it's a guy way up there that's doing it. You know, it's like
he's the one controlling it.
He's doing the magic. But a little secret though, you don't have to be in the queue to see it. There's another one.
Oh really?
At the handicap entrance.
Oh, is there?
Yes, so you can do it there to time a perfect family photo with Tinkerbell.
Oh.
So if you time it, it's only there. It'll only appear for like 5 seconds, but you can get it like, all right, and go. And it lights up, and there's Tinkerbell, and then it goes away. You can get a fun photo.
Fun tip.
That's it. Little secret. Little bit of magic. Mr. Toad.
It's the vehicle. Getting in that vehicle.
Okay. What about you?
It's the hottest part.
Hell.
Going to hell.
Hell. I think it's the train.
Train is iconic.
Yeah.
Crashing into the train. Like that, I remember like freaking out as a kid, like at that moment of like, it's a train, it's gonna hit me. Like I was scared. I was easily scared as a kid, so.
Yeah, I remember that.
Teacups.
Just the cups itself.
Yeah.
I mean, the music's great.
It's the music.
Yeah.
I can see that, but I mean, you think of the ride.
I think the lanterns.
They'll at night.
Yeah, that's the most nostalgic thing for me is the lamp. But it's the cups for me that's iconic. Like if you show me a cup and there, you could name the ride, and like the lantern. If you show a lantern, you'd be like, okay, that's visually.
How about the Alice ride?
Comes down.
Oh, coming outside, yeah.
Absolutely, the whole. And like it's a little disappointing now with the safety rails and things
Oh,
like that.
That
Yeah, I
doesn't
forgot
bother me that much.
It's
though.
still-
Because
It kills it.
you don't remember, you probably don't remember as well when it
do.
wasn't there.
Yeah, it was. She was. That
That was-
happened.
yeah,
that
that
happened when she was an
happened.
adult.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like that would, because like it's more magical looking up at it now than it is going down it now. For me, because
Yeah.
like you see all like, it feels like the platform that you're riding down is like, it looks,
baby
it looks,
proof.
it
It's
looks,
Going bowling with bumpers.
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't bother
It's
me.
most iconic, but I agree with Peter. It was better when it wasn't there. It's always better not to see handrails and exit signs and safety straps,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Aesthetically, that's what we think of.
Correct. All right, here we go. Let's talk about. Actually, no, we won't do Matterhorn yet. Let's go to It's a Small World. Let's do Small World. What's the iconic moment of It's a Small World?
I think it's the clock. I mean, a clock moment or iconic like thing.
Well, what
I
do
think,
you think
I think
about?
it's. I think of the clock, like turning its head with it. You know, like that's when I first think of it. It's that, and then the next thing is the song, the catchy song that sticks in.
I think it's the final scene.
Final scene.
All the kids singing, especially even at Christmas
It's
time.
the build up.
Yeah,
The
I can see that.
the big exciting.
Yeah.
Like, we had just gone through all the countries, which is great, and there's
Yeah.
many iconic moments throughout the whole thing. But like that final, like everyone singing, because like you hear so many more children singing, and like it's just.
I
Like,
don't know. You get more of the
you
feels.
get more warm fuzzies at that portion of the ride, especially during Christmas.
Oh, Christmas!
Oh,
It's a Small World Christmas is the best overall.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's like cool, you got the Christmas lights going, you go at night, and you just like that gets you in the Christmas spirit.
Oh yeah.
That Main Street.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's go into Toontown, which is currently being remodeled. Let's start with.
Let's start with the bank. No, I'm just joking.
Let's start with Roger Rabbit. What's the iconic moment?
Only
The
thing I can
end?
remember is just the
No.
vehicle. Just getting in the vehicle and
Yeah.
going, oh, this is like teacups and seeing the character. But other than that, I don't remember much from the scenes. I just know this queue just takes forever. I have more gripes about the queue
I
lasting
agree.
forever.
I'm not a big fan of Roger Rabbit, so I would
It's
say
just
like
a skippable ride for me now.
So for me, it's the scene where Roger gets electrocuted. So
Oh,
like you
yeah.
turn the
Yeah.
corner, like you're in like that engine room or whatever, and he's like, "Get me out of here!" And then like you hear the heartbeat, like, doo, 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 doo.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then like kind of strobes on Roger, you know, as he's getting electrocuted. Like that to me, like I always think of that scene of that attraction. And then there's a hole in the wall. Remember at the very end of the attraction. Those are the two iconic moments for me.
It's hard after we like read that law book,
Yeah,
and like I don't look at that ride again.
it's hard.
like when you know like some bad things that have happened, like somebody was dragged to their death here on Splash Mountain, and you're just like,
Yeah,
or you're the like those steamboat and like that spike came out and ripped someone's jaw off, and you're
Right.
like, oh gosh.
yeah,
So what we're referencing is the People versus Disneyland.
yes.
And so there's if you want more information on that, it may change your perspective on certain rides,
Yes.
then listen to that podcast. If not, if you want to live in innocence, don't listen to that podcast.
Yeah, agree. Let's go with Gadget's Coaster. Probably won't be coming back. It'll probably be rethemed to something else, but what would be iconic?
the fishbowl.
I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing.
That's crazy, so was I.
Ah!
I was thinking of the fishbowl.
It's the fishbowl.
If you go by and you're like, whoa. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting here going like, I'm going to pick something probably a little obscure, the fishbowl. And it's like,
Nope.
nope, apparently
The
not.
one thing we all agreed upon.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I do like the popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
The kind of like the fence line, like that's cool. Like
the
I
only
love.
thing that's really stayed there is a show that it comes out and the show is no longer playing,
Right.
and it's the one ride and an exhibit that's lasts the longest.
I know, right? Like, it's crazy. Have you guys seen the new Rescue Rangers trailer?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it looks like they're going in a direction of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit sort of thing.
Okay.
So that's the direction. It's definitely does not look like a kiddie, like I'm gonna take my 4-year-old and he's gonna love this sort of movie. It looks like this would gear more towards a teenager sort of vibe.
Interesting why they would
It
attract.
well, if you
that
look at the
genre.
cast, you got Andy Samberg
Okay.
playing Dale.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little.
You can't
weird.
see my face, but I'm doing like that, like all my
Question.
teeth are showing. Like,
Like-
okay, all right.
Yeah, like when I heard the cast, I was all like, okay, and then I watched the trailer and I'm like, all right. Well, Roger Rabbit, he's in it. They did show him, like he's gonna be in.
So
That
we'll
movie,
we'll
but, like,
review it at the end of the year when it ever makes the Disney
I think
Plus.
it's coming out in July. I think is.
So we'll talk
We'll
about
see.
it.
We'll talk
We'll
about
talk about
it.
it at the end of the year. What do you guys think of it? I don't know.
Right. So
Half a popsicle stick. Not even the Mickey bar.
well, let's talk while you bring up Mickey, bro. Let's talk about Mickey's house.
I know with Minnie's house, it was always the cake.
The cake in the oven for Minnie's house,
Yeah, for sure.
but Mickey's house.
I
little
just
difficult.
see Mickey Mouse. What's the
His
big
living
thing?
room. I remember his living room. Yeah.
Remember the chickens? Like you go to his little farm right before you go to his little film barn. And you got the golfers that are coming out. He's got chickens in there, and like I
don't even remember any of that.
yeah, I think it's a little cute. Hopefully, they don't change too. Like I imagine they're probably gonna update quite a bit of Mickey's house, but
Yeah.
I hope they don't change too much because I really liked that whole walkthrough experience.
I don't see them doing a huge change just because that would cost a lot more money. So.
The one thing about Toontown that I just hate is just like how like hard and like
Yep,
it just lacks.
it feels hard.
It is, yeah.
It just lacks any kind of life. You just like I'm touching.
It's too
like,
plasticky.
Yeah, I'm touching plastic, and I don't know if it's metaphoric for like the Disney experience, like very plastic, not quite. It's all been sculpted a certain way, but it lacks life in
Gotcha.
Toontown.
And I think that's what they're trying to do with this.
Like Goofy's house was like lively, like I
Oh,
remember-
Goofy's house.
like
was
back
the
when
best.
it was originally
Yeah.
open, like there was life, there was movement, and then like later it just became nothing. It's all static.
Now they have the house was still all nothing, but at least they made his yard a playground,
Yeah.
which was great. My kids loved it when it was open, when they did get to play in it. So before COVID. All right, so we're heading out of Toontown. Any last thoughts about Toontown?
Goodbye.
So.
We'll see you when Runaway Railway comes out.
Yeah.
All right, then let's hit the Matterhorn. What is the iconic moment in the Matterhorn
Screaming
bobsleds?
Yeti, for me.
Which one?
The when you do the turn, it's like "Roar!" and you're like ah,
Like the
you're-
first
The first one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the first one.
I think it's the second one where you're going down a hill. So like you kind of dive in a little bit and then like you turn and like you almost as if you're going at.
I think that's the one I'm thinking. The one where it's got all the wreckage and like which one has all the wreckage?
the first one.
That's the first. That's the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that one.
The first one you get more of emotion
Yeah.
with the new Yeti.
Yeah.
The other one like he's like right there. Like he's like right there.
Yeah, he's supposed to
right
shock
next
you
to your
right there,
face.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the final shot.
I think it's right before you enter the mountain where they're like, they check the seatbelts and then you go
Attention, bobsled riders!
Yeah.
I haven't heard that before.
in. So I think it's like right
think that's killed it
before
for me.
you
I
I
don't
enter.
know,
like it
I
anymore.
know, I know. I was listening to it. I think like when we wrote it with some of my family, they're like, "Hey, it's you," and I'm like,
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah. So right like when you're about to enter and go in the mountain.
the excitement about
Yes.
starting the climb where you go.
I think also for me the second would be the queue, like the structure and seeing
Sure.
like the family
The-
crest,
the Swiss-
the regional like crest of
Yeah,
Switzerland.
Okay.
the if the music, the polka music
Yeah.
going. Yeah, it's. They do a really good job of like
Such a
setting the
simple,
stage.
Such a simple cue.
Right. It's just like this structure.
So you hear the screams of the Yeti in the background, and it just feels cooler. I don't know what it does. It just feels cooler there.
Yep. Okay, so let's move on to
Submarines.
Skip. No.
The only thing I really have to say would be the iconic view of the lagoon.
Yeah, I was just like
with
the outside of it.
And with the monorail. You can get the 3-shot with the submarines out on the lake, the monorail passing above with the Matterhorn in the background.
I agree. I like
it's the most iconic view.
I like the outside of the submarine, don't like the inside.
For me, it's the ceiling of it. Once you get in, and then they seal the door at the top. Where it's like, you could hear like a... like
right.
Like we're like, okay, we're in this. Like for me, it's like we are now in the submarine.
And then you see the bubbles as you descend.
Oh, yeah.
The bubbles, I feel, is pretty iconic.
There's a very initiation, weird go.
Yeah.
Those are great moments.
Mm-hmm.
All right, monorail.
I think of the horn as it goes around the Matterhorn.
Yep.
Just like when you go through California Adventure.
Yep, you go through California Adventure.
Yeah, when you go through the park.
To go through the hotel.
Yeah. You don't go through the hotel.
Yeah, you do.
At Disneyland?
At the Grand California Hotel. It goes right
Not
through
Disneyland Hotel, but the Grand.
Yep.
I can't remember, so I can't confirm or
like you're not going to the lobby.
Okay. I'm like, what part are we going through?
It's the space in between the lobby and downtown Disney. Like, you get to look into their courtyard. To that little...
Oh, okay. I wouldn't consider going inside. You're just passing by
There are rooms on the other side of you.
Okay.
I don't remember. Can't say.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I would say traveling... It's that wander through Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, when you're on your way into Disneyland... You just kind of wander through. Like, you go around It's a Small World, through the Autopia, and then all the way around the Matterhorn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just love that. Like, the motion from the point where it goes from Disneyland to downtown Disney, it's almost like, yes, it goes through California Adventure, but, like, it's like a straight shot. Whereas I feel like the trip to Disneyland, to Tomorrowland Station, it's more of like an adventure.
Yeah, you don't get that at Disney World. It's just more of like...
It's transportation.
It's transportation.
The only place you get that is on the Epcot loop.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get that on the Epcot loop when you go around Spaceship Earth. But yeah.
I used to remember seeing Tron-a-Rail for that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Tron-a-Rail?
Yeah. All right, what are we at now?
What's
Autopia? It's hard not to mix a nostalgia with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, the most iconic thing is just hearing that motor going, that diesel, like, go-ped, kind of like, yeah.
There's one part that I remember as a kid I loved. It's like the off-roading part.
Off-road part, yep. Where you go a little bit off-road. You're like, oh, right, we're going off the road here. It's the dirt when you're not really. It's just themed different concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that part. It's a little, like, adventurous. It's not just,
I'm driving on a road.
I'm driving on a road. Like, I'm on the Speedway at Disney World. I think that's one of the most lamest. I'm ripping on Disney World right now, but...
Yeah. I've never cared for that test drive.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move into Space Mountain, if I'm not mistaken. Because Innoventions is gone, and so is the Star Wars area is gone now. So let's go into Space Mountain. What's that moment?
I think about, like, just that last turn. I mean, well, there's the build-up's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's the build-up.
The build-up.
And they got the lights. Yeah.
It's the part where you're spinning, like doing the.
That's where the last spin.
The last loops.
The last loops, and then you go right into the picture.
Yeah, it's
the
like
finale.
the two of them are really tied.
That's the
for
climax of the attraction for sure. But I'm gonna say build up. Because the build-up is like, you're getting ready. You're like, I've waited for this attraction. I'm ready to go. This is going to be awesome. You know, you got the blue light tunnel, and they've got the special effects on the hill.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get that moment of peace at the top when you're in the big room with the coaster.
And then you get the guitar. Sorry, no. It's more nostalgia.
Right. So, yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's the build-up.
I'm torn. I think both of them are pretty equal for me. Because when I think of it, I think of like just a spin at the end. You're going, yeah, and you get that orange flash, and then the camera.
I think the spin is the part that I look forward the most.
I think so too. I look forward to that more than anything else. But I think iconic wise, that climb and when they always show like the commercial, it's always the lights of the build up, not the flash at the end.
Okay. All right, so now we're at Star Tours.
C-3PO and R2 and the queue, first queue.
Boom. Yep, that's my thought exactly. Is that little entry lobby area.
Yeah.
And you're like, boom, we're in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like that, they are Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
R2, C-3PO.
There's debates on it's a story about two robots.
Yep.
And maneuvering a war brought upon by humans.
It's funny though, because I just listened to this person review the Star Wars hotel or a cruise line.
I'm sure there's plenty of those.
I know. And he created a part. He created, a role for himself. And he goes, I am a movie director where it's about these two droids, and like he's literally talking about like Star Wars. And
who is it?
It's
his last name's Lucas.
George Lucas.
This was on the Disney Dish. So Glenn Testa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name's Jorge.
So yeah, he had a fun review on that of his experience on the cruise line, but we're not talking about that today. I don't know if we'll ever have a proper review of that experience.
Yeah.
$6,000.
I hope not. I hope I don't ever spend money on something.
If you want to
like
know
that.
our Venmo, email us. No.
Yeah, if you want us to review, here's our Venmo.
And then I'm going to watch it on YouTube. I'm going to pocket that $6,000.
It's going to pay for my actual cruise line experience, and we'll have a discussion on that instead. No, that's totally... The lobby of Star Tours is definitely...
Yeah.
You see the ship, and then they got the tour guide right there, and first you walk in, you're like, boom, C-3PO right there.
Yep.
And then you hear the theme.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Agree.
We got Buzz
Lightyear.
Is that our last one?
Yeah, I mean, we got Astro Orbiter if we want to...
Yeah, it's the same thing as like Dumbo.
Yeah.
Like in the experience. I don't think I've been on Astro Orbiter
It's
so
been
long.
many moons. Probably the last time I went was with you.
Last time I did an Astro Orbiter at Disneyland, I think I rode in the same vehicle as Mom, and that was a very uncomfortable experience.
Never again.
So, but what about Buzz? Let's talk about Buzz.
It's either between seeing Buzz when you first enter or seeing Zurg at the end.
I was gonna say Zurg.
The last scene.
For me, it's Buzz, seeing Buzz in the queue.
Yeah, I'm torn between the two.
It's just, it's exciting to see, Buzz Lightyear's just standing there. He's getting
you
moving
pumped
his
up.
arm
Yeah.
around, and you hit it and you hit the target with the blaster. I love that whole scene.
No,
I
but
can't think of any other scenes.
I think Zurg, because you're just trying to get all the high points and.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard because I get into that attraction because I'm trying to get the high score.
Oh, I love that.
A lot of everyone else is just like whatever. I'm all like.
I think our family's always taken it serious. To
Oh yes.
Well, Mother Yoda maybe not so much, but
But she likes that ride because she can ride that ride.
she can ride that ride, and she likes watching us have fun. She's always been enjoying watching the family have fun, and that shows our family competitiveness is that we will ride that ride. It's the same thing with the Toy Story one.
Mm-hmm.
Where like, where were you at? And like, we always compare
What score you
scores.
get? Yep.
It's always highly competitive. Because we're always like, all our pictures of us on that
Are always our face.
Yeah,
our
we
face are
don't
covered.
focus on the picture.
We're literally using like we're aiming.
We got the aiming
like
rail.
we're not just like randomly shooting.
No,
our faces are back
face,
to the gun.
Yeah,
like,
our face.
We've got a stable
right there.
position. And,
And you really hope the other person in the other vehicle is moving the.
yeah, your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
never
vehicle.
like doing it by myself.
It's difficult.
Because you're like, I need to go this way, and you hit it, and you're like, oh no, the momentum takes you.
Try doing it like when you've got a
little
kid with you, and he just moves, and you're like, no, the big one's right here. Turning around.
And then imagine if you're at Disney World where it's stuck to the actual vehicle.
God.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Well, that's all the major attractions. What about iconic places? Like when you're standing in the park, like what's an iconic, like when you think of standing in Disneyland, where are you standing?
Fantasyland looking, it's the hub.
Yeah, it's the hub.
That's iconic. If you think
You're
of
in
Disneyland,
front of the
and
castle.
you say, I'm at Disneyland. Boom, I'm at the castle.
You're at the castle, near the popcorn stand, near the churros.
You see the Matterhorn just to the right, like it just
I
peeking
say-
over.
agree. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what doesn't scream Disneyland than being in front of the castle?
Yep.
The only one I would also throw out there is standing in, looking at the rivers of America. At
Yeah,
New
that's your
Orleans.
spot.
That's my spot where I feel like I'm at Disneyland.
I also say standing on the top of the train station and looking
down Main Street.
Yeah, looking down Main Street's a big one. Yeah, those are some 3 powerful points right there.
Just like pure iconic Disney moments.
And it really gets lost when you get into Tomorrowland. It's just
It
winding
does.
mess, and you kind of like lose like a power moment.
Like the only iconic like place in Tomorrowland is near Submarine.
Yep,
by the
is it
lagoon.
what we
Yeah.
talked about? Like, and it's a view of an attraction that's technically part of Fantasyland. So,
I think Tomorrowland at Disney World is more iconic at night, where you have
Agreed.
the neon lights and you get that more.
well, and I
like-
do enjoy the neon at Disneyland as well with the Mickey,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
astronaut Mickey on the Star Trader. Like, that's pretty iconic to me as well. I do like Tomorrowland at night. Daytime, no. Tomorrowland looks dumb in the daytime. At night, Tomorrowland looks cool because you got like the lasers at the different posts for Star Tours and Buzz. Like,
You can tell we're huge fans of Tomorrowland.
we bashed on it. Didn't we fix it in one episode?
Yeah, we fixed
we did
it.
fix it in one episode. So, all right. Well, we've kind of gone around. Obviously, I would like to end on fireworks.
Oh.
You know, I think the fireworks are, of course, the staple of, Disney, standing in front of the castle watching the fireworks go off. I think it's
See
something.
Tinkerbell.
Yep,
Scroll across
Tinkerbell
the scroll
fly down.
the wire.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a classic moment of Disney.
I feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh.
I've gone through a whole experience at Disneyland. It's been what, 4 years since I've been there, so yeah, it's nice to go down and just think like each ride, and you get to experience it in your mind.
Yeah.
So let us know, what were some of the iconic moments that we didn't mention that you feel are the iconic moments of the attractions that you love? You can message us on our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter page, our email at matterhornyodelers@gmail.com. Yeah, just let us know what are the iconic moments that you like. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.